My older brother always hated me for stealing his life, and now he wants it back. I, 24M, have an older brother, Liam, 28M, who's never liked me. Not in the normal sibling rivalry way. I mean, from the moment I could walk, he made it clear I was not welcome in his world. Our parents won't admit it, but yeah, they did treat me differently. I was this surprise baby, born after they thought they were done having kids. By then, they had more money, more stability, and more time. So I got the upgraded childhood. Better schools, a newer room, more attention. I didn't ask for any of that. But Liam, he never let me forget it. He'd say things like, "Must be nice being the favorite. Enjoy the leftovers of my dreams. Everything I built, you got handed." I used to laugh it off. Then I started to believe it. For years, I tried to make peace. I invited him to games I played in, helped him move apartments, even loaned him money once when he needed it. I thought if I kept being generous, he'd eventually see I wasn't trying to compete. He didn't. When I got into a solid university on scholarship, he called it rigged. Said it was only because mom and dad pulled strings for me. When I landed a decent job out of school, he told everyone it was because I knew someone. I didn't. Then I got engaged. That's when everything really cracked. He didn't congratulate me. He didn't show up to the engagement party. He sent me a text 2 weeks later saying, "Of course you get to live my life. You always do." I showed it to my fiancée. She just looked sad and said, "I don't think he's ever going to be happy for you." She was right. The worst part? Our parents still try to smooth things over. Every holiday is a performance. They seat us next to each other, thinking we'll suddenly bond over mashed potatoes and nostalgia. He barely speaks, just watches. There's this constant, low-key hostility in everything he does. He laughs a little too hard when I mention something that went wrong. He smirks when I talk about stress at work. He always finds a way to imply I'm some sort of imposter in my own life. I know it sounds dramatic, but it's like he believes my entire existence is a theft of what should have been his. And lately, it's gotten darker. He showed up unannounced at my apartment 2 weeks ago, said he was in the neighborhood and just wanted to talk. I let him in, offered him a drink, and for the first time, he got real quiet. Stared at my bookshelf, the pictures on the wall, the ring on my finger. Then he said, "You know, if you hadn't been born, none of this would have gone the way it did." I asked what he meant. He shrugged, smiled, just saying. Funny how one accident can ruin everything. That night, I installed cameras in my apartment, changed the locks. I haven't told anyone, not even my fiancée, about the pit I felt in my stomach when he said that. I don't think he'd hurt me, but I also don't think he'd care if I disappeared. It's taken me years to admit this, but my brother doesn't just resent me. He genuinely hates me, and I don't know how to fix something that never wanted to be fixed in the first place. Update. My brother framed me for something horrible, and it almost ruined my life. I never thought I'd be writing this kind of update. I was hoping time and distance would make things better. It didn't. If you read my first post, you know my brother Liam resents me. Hates me really. But I thought, naively, that hate had a ceiling. I was wrong. A month after I wrote that last post, I was arrested. Not a warning. Not a call. Arrested. Handcuffed in front of my building. The charge? Possession of illicit materials. The kind that makes your stomach drop. The kind that destroys lives. The kind that brands you forever, even if you're innocent. I felt like my world ended before I could even speak. I spent 2 nights in a holding cell. 2 days being questioned, fingerprinted, treated like a monster. I kept asking for someone to call my fiancée. They wouldn't let me. Then they told me something that chilled me deeper than anything else. We received an anonymous tip with photo evidence and file transfers traced back to your home IP address. I swear I almost threw up. When they showed me the files, I didn't recognize them, and I shouldn't have, because I never downloaded anything. Never touched that kind of garbage. Never even came close. That's when it hit me. My brother. He was the only one who'd been inside my apartment without me there. He'd stayed behind briefly once during a dinner party, claiming he'd left his wallet. I didn't think anything of it. Why would I? Turns out, during that time, he planted a USB stick, one loaded with folders and a script that made it look like the files were downloaded directly from my system. He also made the anonymous tip using a throwaway email. The detectives eventually traced the IP address of the tip back to a public Wi-Fi network near Liam's apartment complex. And then things started to fall apart for him. Luckily, the investigation unit was smart. They'd seen false setups before. My computer was clean. No browsing history. No activity that matched the planted files. They dug deeper, asked for permission to examine my devices, which I gave immediately. Then they quietly started investigating Liam. And that's where everything unraveled. He had a trail. Stupid mistakes. A hidden folder on a backup drive. Drafts of the fake email. Even a notepad file where he listed timing steps for when to make the tip after planting the files. When they confronted him, he denied everything, then blamed me for manipulating the system to ruin his life. Classic projection. Long story short, he's been charged. He's awaiting trial now, and I've filed for a restraining order. My lawyer says we may be able to sue for damages once this is over, but honestly, I don't even care about the money. I care about breathing again. My reputation at work is shaky. HR had to launch a whole review when the arrest happened. I was suspended, but reinstated once the truth came out. Still, people whisper. You don't walk away from something like this untouched. My fiancée, God bless her, she stood by me the entire time. Didn't even hesitate. Said she knew I'd never do something like that. She even confronted Liam's ex-girlfriend and got her to admit he'd made creepy comments about ruining the golden child. My parents? Shattered. At first, they didn't believe it. Then they begged me to forgive him because he needs help. I told them that help wouldn't come from me. Not anymore. That part of me, the one that kept hoping Liam would come around, it's dead now. He didn't just try to sabotage my life. He tried to end it. And if things had gone even slightly differently, he might have succeeded. So yeah, I'm angry. I'm grieving. But I'm free. And next time someone tells me that jealousy can't destroy a family, I'll tell them mine almost did. Update. He finally snapped, and I was the one who paid for it. I'm writing this with 3 fractured ribs, 12 stitches in my eyebrow, and a police report sitting on my kitchen table. I didn't think Liam would come back. Not after the charges. Not after the restraining order. Not after everything. But he did. Last Saturday night, I got home late from work. My fiancée was visiting her sister out of town, so I was alone. I noticed the porch light was off. Weird. I'd left it on. Inside, I went to turn on the hallway light. It didn't work. That's when I felt it. The smallest shift of air behind me. The sound of floorboards that should have been still. I turned, and he was there. I don't know how long he was waiting. He'd broken in through the back window, cut the power to the hallway, stood in the dark, watching. He said nothing at first, just stared at me. Then, you should have stayed down when I gave you the chance. I didn't even get a full second to process. He lunged. I'm not a fighter. Never have been. But adrenaline does funny things. I shoved back, ducked, ran for the kitchen. Instinct said knife, but I couldn't get to it in time. He tackled me. We hit the counter. My head cracked against the fridge. I saw stars. I remember yelling, screaming. I remember his voice, low and feral. It was supposed to be me. It was always supposed to be me. Then the door slammed open. A neighbor, God bless her, heard the crash and screaming. She burst in with her husband, and Liam bolted. Cops got him 2 blocks away, bleeding from a cut he got climbing out the back. He resisted arrest. Said I attacked him. That lie didn't work this time. There's a case pending. It's ugly. I've got photos, medical reports, witness statements. My fiancée drove back the moment I called her from the ER. I've never seen her cry like that. I keep asking myself why. Why did he keep pushing? I think Liam truly believes I stole his identity. That he was meant to be the golden child, the success story, the one people admired. And the fact that I exist, that I'm okay, that I'm happy, is something he can't live with. So he tried to erase me. I have a security system now. I don't go anywhere without letting someone know. I'm staying with my fiancée's parents until we figure out long-term safety. There are nightmares, pain meds, and flashbacks I never asked for. But I'm still here. And no matter what Liam does next, he doesn't win. Update. He's finally behind bars, and I can breathe again. It's over. He's going to prison. I didn't believe it at first. I've been holding my breath for so long. Through the lies, the trauma, the isolation, that part of me thought I'd never get to write these words. But today I did. Liam was sentenced to 9 years for aggravated assault, breaking and entering, cybercrimes, and obstruction of justice. The courtroom was packed. Not with supporters, with people staring in disbelief. Our family sat in the back row, awkward and silent. My parents looked like they'd aged 10 years since the last time I saw them. I took the stand. I told the truth. I described what it felt like to be betrayed by my own blood, to be arrested for something unspeakable, to be hunted in my own home. I didn't cry, but my voice cracked. And when I looked across the room at Liam, he didn't look angry. He looked empty. Maybe that's what happens when you burn through every last drop of hate. Maybe he thought I wouldn't make it this far. But I did. My fiancée held my hand through the whole thing. After the verdict, she whispered, "It's done." I nodded, but I still couldn't really feel it. Not until we stepped outside the courthouse and I saw the sun again. Not until I realized that for the first time in years, I didn't have to look over my shoulder. Liam will serve real time. No bail. No more misunderstandings. No more chances to slither his way back into my life. And me? I'm starting to heal. The company I work for cleared me of all wrongdoing and offered to cover therapy costs. My boss even apologized personally for not standing by me sooner. My fiancée and I just signed the lease on a new place, one with no memories attached, no dark corners, no broken locks. We're planning a small wedding. Something simple. Just us, close friends, and peace. My parents still ask if I'll visit Liam someday. I told them no, because justice doesn't mean forgetting. It means protecting yourself from what tried to destroy you. I've learned a lot from this. That family isn't always safe. That blood doesn't mean loyalty. And that even when the world falls apart, even when you're falsely accused, hated, hunted, and hurt, you can still get back up and reclaim your life. So if you're reading this and you've got someone who's trying to poison your peace, who masks cruelty as family tension, don't wait for them to change. Protect yourself. Choose yourself. Because some people don't want reconciliation. They want your ruin. And walking away from them. That's not weakness. That's survival. Final update. Healing isn't pretty, but I'm finally living again. It's been almost a year since Liam went to prison. I wasn't going to post again. I thought the courtroom closure would be the end of my story. But healing has its own timeline. And honestly, I think someone out there needs to hear what comes after. Because after justice, there's still grief. After survival, there's still the work of living. The nightmares didn't stop overnight. Some weeks, I'd still wake up expecting him to be in the house. I couldn't walk past a dark hallway without checking twice. Loud noises made my heart race. Sometimes I'd forget why I felt scared. My body remembered before my brain did. But I started therapy, twice a week at first. I was a mess. Angry, ashamed, tired. I kept asking, why him? Why me? Why would someone who grew up beside me try to ruin me? The answer, I've learned, doesn't matter as much as I thought it did. Liam made his choices. I'm not responsible for his bitterness. I'm only responsible for how I choose to heal from it. Therapy helped. So did journaling. Long walks. Leaving the city for a few weeks and just being anonymous in a small coastal town. I deleted social media for months. Blocked numbers. Moved apartments again. We got a dog. His name is Coda, and he doesn't care about my past. He just wants to chase leaves and sit in my lap. My fiancée, now my wife, never left my side. We married last fall under a canopy of orange trees. Small wedding. Quiet vows. I cried like a child. We're talking about starting a family next year. I used to be terrified of that idea. What if I turned into my brother? What if I passed on the same rot? But I know now that fear, it means I care. It means I won't. I've also started speaking publicly about trauma recovery. A podcast invited me to share my story. I was scared, but I did it. And the messages that came afterward, from people who also were betrayed by those they trusted most, it made everything feel a little more worth it. You see, healing isn't clean. It doesn't come with music swelling in the background or neat chapter endings. It's messy. It's waking up some mornings still angry, still scared, but choosing to get up anyway. I won't lie and say I've forgiven Liam. I haven't. But I've let go of needing that part of the story to make sense. Because the part one do get to right now, the one about love, peace, and building something better, that part is mine. So if you're reading this and you're in the thick of it, whatever it is, keep going. Keep breathing. Keep reaching. You don't have to be unbroken to be okay. You just have to be willing to try. I'm not who I was before all of this, but I think I might finally like the person I'm becoming. Thanks for sticking with me.